afternoon, and welcome to Building Boston and Beyond. I am your host, Lydia Rivera. Over the past few months, we have this show that showcases the many developments and opportunities that are going on in and around Boston. Today, we have with us Roseanne Foley from Fields Corner Main Streets in Dorchester to talk about what's going on in Dorchester, what's going on beyond Dorchester in the city of Boston, what's going on with her other fellow directors of Main Streets throughout the city. Specifically, we're going to talk with Roseanne about Fields Corner, talk about some of the plans they have with the revitalization that's underway in Fields Corner. So with us today is Roseanne Foley. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me here. It's really nice of you.
So I just want to talk about, reading, we've known each other for a while, and just reading your bio, and you have been in community, and
Yes.
you're an activist, and you've done so much, the Ashmont Station revitalization, which took years, the whole red line rehab along that corridor, but specifically you, along with other community folks and residents, really put a lot of time and effort into that to make sure you got the station that section of Dorchester deserved. So let's just talk about your history.
Well, for that, I think that's how we first met. For the Ashmont train station revitalization, there was a plan to do some work to renovate the Ashmont T station a little bit, and we in the community said, no, we need more than that. So it's a really good multi-community effort there. And by no means am I, the spokesperson or anything for any of that, but I thought we did a good community process, making sure that people were involved and working with the MBTA and the designers to make sure that the station became multimodal and looks pretty amazing as well.
Yeah, I mean that was a four-station effort, and you can't
Exactly.
help to even fall into the care about the other stations while you concentrating on Ashmont. You had Shawmut and Fields Corner, and everyone talks about all the stations because it's kind of like the Dorchester portion of the Red Line.
Right, and it was the sense that it was finally our time to have some good development happen, some nice major renovations to each of the stations, and I think everyone's pretty pleased with how everything came out.
Oh, absolutely. So right now, I know that you are now director of the Fields Corner Main Streets. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Just
great.
6 months in.
That's great. And what are some of the efforts that you're going to have underway? What's going on now? What's the transformation? You must experience that with all the many years being part of the Dorchester community and helping.
Right. Yeah, I've been in Dorchester. I moved there in '86, so I've seen a lot of different changes over the years. I know you were there.
It's 30 years, yeah.
You were there for a lot longer than I was, but so I've had a chance to work in kind of each of the individual areas: Codman Square, Ashmont, Upham's Corner, and now Fields Corner. Fields Corner is Dorchester's downtown, I guess, because it's got the train station right in the middle. It's got the infrastructure that's dense. It's very bustling. Some people that sometimes may get stuck in traffic there may think it's a little too bustling sometimes, but we're working on making sure that there's parking, traffic, conditions are watched. We have parking areas for folks. We want to encourage walking and biking as well. So the infrastructure piece is what Main Street organizations do to try to help businesses thrive there.
Okay, so you think of other means of transportation other than the vehicle, and that's what you promote and collaborate with the city of Boston. So you have significant partnerships.
Oh yes, and one of the interesting things that we do, because it's not just driving somewhere and shopping, you want people when they get there to feel that it's a pleasant environment. So we're right now working as one of the committee members for a public art piece that's going into Town Field, which is in the middle of Fields Corner. Be It Aid is the organization that's kind of leading the effort, but it's great that we have a good partnership of other community organizations. All Dorchester Sports League has a building and their office right in the field, so they're also obviously part of the efforts. And we've whittled it down. I can't remember the numbers of artists, over 100 artists
Wow.
actually applied to do this piece of public art that would embody the idea of freedom. And we now are down to 3 finalists, and we'll be presenting their proposals to the community on October 20th.
And where's that going to be?
That will be at Viet Aid on 42 Charles Street.
Yeah, we'll
next to the
mention
T
it at the
station.
end. Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
So, yeah. And it
No,
will
that's
also,
great.
that artwork will also be at the public library in Fields Corner, so if you can't make the meeting on the 20th, then you can check it out at the library.
No, that's excellent. And the is it a sculpture or it's just what they're proposing?
We don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be something fairly substantial and sturdy because
The elements, yeah.
right, and it's in a field where children play and adults hang out. So
Right.
We'll
Now,
see.
when I go through Fields Corner, obviously, when we were talking earlier, I am from Fields Corner and grew up behind Lucky Strikes, which is now raised.
Right,
and
it's done.
What is going there?
I'm actually going to be meeting with the developer probably this week, early next week, to see what the status is. The plan is to have commercial on the first floor,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think about 20 or so
Housing?
units of housing above there.
Wow, that's amazing.
But check my website to be sure about that.
Oh, that's good to know, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that was the Candlepin Bowling Alley.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I have a ball and a pin from there.
Oh, you do?
A
From when they
memento.
really?
Yes.
Interesting, I don't have one. Yeah, so along Dorchester Avenue across from like so you have restaurants and they just finished a whole new development. Did they not, right on Dot Ave, like a building?
Right.
Yeah.
So if anyone is familiar with Fields Corner, it used to be the Emerald Isle,
Okay, yeah.
right next to the Blarney Stone.
Yep.
And for a long time it was vacant. And we are about to fill up the last of the 5 storefronts that are in there now. So,
Okay, have you identified the businesses that are?
well, so far we have one long-term business that's already moved into one of the spaces. We're going to get a Boston Burgers place,
Oh,
we hope,
really?
in there.
Okay.
And then the other 2 are not finalized, so we're not sure. And then there's a phone store, a chain.
It appears to me, I
Last
do
one, so.
frequent like the Fields Corner area every so often, and I'll go into the Blarney Stone, but I notice and I see the partnerships that you have with the businesses they're strong partnerships.
It's pretty neat to see, since, I've been there since '86, to see how different Fields Corner looks now. And it's definitely a mix of old and new that I appreciate very much, so.
Oh, absolutely. And the other projects, I mean, with the main streets, there are how many others?
There are 19 other ones all over the city,
Okay.
and where each of us is a small organization that does a lot, and we couldn't do it without partnerships.
Right, and you
So,
collaborate with the other
Right.
main streets. Talk about your efforts moving forward and how you can work
Yes.
together to accomplish X.
Right, and we're in the stages right now of forming a coalition of all the main streets in Boston to really plan out and strategize how we can best work together to make sure that all the different commercial districts are a success.
Right, and what you concentrate on is the destination, do they call it like destination shopping? You're trying to promote the area so that people come to Fields Corner, maybe get off the bus or take the train there to shop, have lunch, and
Right.
I know that the
Shop local.
Jamaica Plain is good at that. I feel like
We all
there's-
want to be Jamaica Plain
Is that
when we grow up,
what?
yeah.
I'm not favorite. I was like, oh,
It's-
how do I pose that? But Jamaica Plain, I've been.
They're definitely, I don't go there all the time, but they are one of the destinations in the city that is seen as helping local businesses and entrepreneurs really be busy.
No, you're right. I mean, they are a great example. I had some work on Center Street, so I was spending a lot of time
yep.
on Center Street, and I was spending some time at JP Licks doing
place.
some work, and then I had noticed the businesses there's a number of small businesses when they're successful.
Exactly.
Clothing, the small like knick-knack places.
Right. And we've actually gotten some new, we just a few months ago had a frozen yogurt place open up called Very Berry.
I saw that. Yeah, I
And
saw
it
that.
has, apparently there are different flavors from the usual, such as taro, which I haven't tried yet. But obviously we have a very large Vietnamese population in Phil's Corner, so we need to make sure that folks know that if they're interested, they can try out, some of the foods, experience some of the culture.
No, exactly. And then the public access to public transportation
Yeah, it's very easy to get
is
there.
huge. It's huge. Now, when you said that you previously you were overseeing the Uplands Corner Main Streets.
Well, I was working with them on their Art Place initiative.
Okay.
So one of the great things about Upham's Corner is that the Strand Theater is, of course, right in the center of things. So the Upham's Corner Main Street office is right next to that. We were able to do some great partnerships with getting the word out about different productions happening next door. So,
That's excellent.
yeah.
Now, how do you raise funding? Like for this art project, Back to Phil's Corner, where does the funding come for that?
Yes, that's going to be the next question. Once the community decides out of the 3 finalists which one they actually want to move forward on, then the next stage starts where we need to come up with the money to actually pay for it. So it might be
Grants?
right.
maybe?
We'll be looking for former residents to maybe donate money to help. Just everywhere there are a lot of originally from Dorchester folks that are interested in making sure that the old neighborhood is
Thrives and-
an awesome place. So
Oh yeah, definitely. And just looking at, I read a recent article where they
yes.
said that Phil's Corner was the best place to live in the nation.
Well,
Was
close.
I would say that because I live there. So
Yes. Yes, the American Planning Association named us among the top 10 great neighborhoods to live in. And we're the only neighborhood in New England, actually, to be named to that. So we were really thrilled. Not to say that all the work is done and that we're perfect and, sign off on it. But it does show that as far as planning goes, we know how to form partnerships, we know how to involve the right people, and get everyone talking and discussing and figure out a consensus going forward.
absolutely. And I, from what I see, I believe that not only your main streets, but throughout the city, they get a lot of support from the city of Boston. I
Absolutely.
said you have a great partnership with the city.
Yeah, we're working more on that, but we've really seen a lot of response to issues such as graffiti or streetlights being out or, things like that.
That's where I was moving to. You're also part of, not your role, but when you're collaborating with the community members, crime. Do you play a role in that as far as, working with the city and the police department to ensure the
Sure.
streets are safe? And
What we do is we try to make sure that businesses will call the police if there's a problem, and also talk about the Citizens Connect app that on your iPhone or Android you can snap a photo of something that's not safe, or if there's graffiti or trash, things like that. Because if a place looks like it's in disarray, that tends to make it more attractive to more unsavory activities going on. So that's the sort of thing we do. We don't go out there with,
no, exactly. You try to provide the community the
Right.
tools and
Yep.
encourage them to say,
Again.
see something, say something.
right.
And steal that.
That sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
No, so that's definitely part of what the Main Street would build the community to
Yeah, and
follow.
work in partnership with the Boston Police and not think of it as, a problem to call them, but to actually work with them to make sure that things are safe.
Now, it's been 6 months since you took over?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you have some specific goals, that you're...
Well, the
thriving
day-to-day part of things is so busy. It's really, I love it. I thrive on that kind of activity. right now we're ramping up for a couple of big things. One is the Dorchester Open Studios that's happening.
That's right.
The weekend of October 25th and 26th. So that will be looking at different pop-up art locations throughout Dorchester, including Upham's Corner and Fields Corner.
Okay. Was that the same as last time? You had spread it out where people would go certain days to Upham's Corner, Fields Corner, down by Lower
over the
Mills?
weekend it's from noon to 5 and circulating throughout the largest neighborhood in the city and finding all the different artists that they'll show either in their own studios or in pop-up places. Like in Viet Aid is doing one, I believe, and then the Fields Corner Business Lab, which is a new business lab.
I don't even know, what is that?
So it's a great way to collaborate with new entrepreneurs that need an office space, and maybe they can't afford to do the regular office, yearly lease. So there are collaborative open spaces on the fourth floor of the Linane building with great views, by the way.
Excellent.
So they can rent out either a desk or a conference room if they need to have a meeting. It's an excellent way to help startups.
Oh, that's excellent. So is there a website for that? How do people find out about that?
So our website is fieldscorner.org, and we try very hard to make sure that we highlight all the good stuff that's happening in the community, and plus our own, obviously.
Right. And the art event at the end of the month, that sounds great. That gives people the opportunity to find some art even for their house and check what's going on.
And then, by the way, when they're shopping for art, they can go to the local pubs or have a meal at a local restaurant, or
No, absolutely. So that will be available, all that information will be available on your site?
We'll have a link from our site. We'll talk about the Fields Corner art spots, and then we'll also have a link to the Dorchester Arts Collaborative website as well. So
that's excellent.
Yeah.
Those are I went once, and I remember going down to Lower Mills, and they had some. Is that the same? They had them in the Baker
the Walter
condominium?
Baker Administration Building.
Yes.
It's a historic building, and they have about a dozen studios in there. It's pretty neat.
Now, the Dorchester House, did they underwent some renovations? They have a brand new pool, or they renovated the pool?
The pool looks great now, yeah.
Yeah.
They've done a fantastic job. A lot of renovations are happening over there.
And then with regard to just like public transportation, is the community happy with the services that are going on there, the buses?
Well, everyone wants to be able to drive and get to where they want to go and have a parking space right up front. And, it's hard to accommodate that in the city, especially when you've got more and more people who want to be in a neighborhood. So I think that because the MBTA has made some improvements in service and things like the countdown clock that say, when the next train is coming.
Arrival, that's huge.
Small things make a big difference. So.
And then I read that you'd love to see in the future the hub bikes?
Oh, the Hubway.
Hubway.
Bike share.
Now, is that something that you're talking about, or are you in discussion
I would love to have that.
To have that.
In Fields Corner.
Right.
Right now we have a couple of Hubway stations in Upham's Corner, and then one over by Seven Hill. So we're hoping to have them slowly filter their way throughout Dorchester.
No, that'd be great, because I have seen them. Actually, now you're right. I have seen them there. I've seen them in South Boston. They'll make their way, I believe.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
I'm just impatient.
And with the congestion, because you're right, there is a lot of congestion. People, I can see that, not the struggle, but really working at the alternatives to driving, as you said, the cycling and just other means of getting around, and then destination shopping and all that. It is a lot. You have a big job.
I know. One of the things I want to do is figure out the secret places to park in the different Main Street districts, so that There might be a side street that no one knows about that after 6 p.m. you can just park there and not have to fight for, you know, the typical known areas. So.
Well, I park on the side street that, but so you can access the rear of the Blarney Stone. What's that called? What street is that
Exactly.
called?
There's a little secret
That's secret.
entrance in the back.
Yeah, the back, the rear
That's right.
entrance, you know. So let's talk about, we have a couple of minutes left. Let's talk about
Oh,
what's
yes.
coming up, because I know that you collaborate with the businesses, and there's one specifically that's coming up.
So we have our annual fun event. It's Martinis on the Avenue, also known as Dartini, and it's our 10th year this year, so it's going to be a special occasion, and we'll be holding it at the Blarney Stone, which has been in Fields Corner for quite a number of years, and they're an amazing resource. They're an amazing place to have food and drink, but they're also great as collaborators with
Yeah,
Fields
they
Corner
are.
Main
They're great
Street, so-
partnerships. Even when when I was at the MBTA and we'd partner with them. Well, I mean, we have to
Really?
mention Ben. Ben
Johnson
Ben
is
Johnson is a great
star.
management, and he really, really cares about the community.
Absolutely.
So I think that having him as a partner is huge. Mm-hmm. And then what else is going on? Okay, on the 20th, you're doing the art.
So, right, I mean, this is a very pared down calendar, but so October 20th will be our presentation of the 3 finalists for the Public Art Project, and then the 25th and 26th will be Dorchester Open Studios, and then November 6th, Thursday, November 6th will be our event,
Excellent.
Dartini. And this is all on the website.
On the website. I was going to say, when I was on the website the other day, on the right, you can click on each day.
I try to get it all out there so people can find whatever they need to find.
Okay, and what's the website again? I'm sorry.
It's fieldscorner.org.
FieldsCorner.org.
Yeah, it's an easy one.
Excellent. So at least, obviously, our viewers will know that they can go to fieldscorner.org and get the most updated information of what's going on in Fields Corner. And I just want to thank you for coming on. And again, we were talking earlier, I'd love to have you on with some of your other co-Main Street directors to talk. That way we could maybe talk about Jamaica Plain, Hyde Park, Fields Corner, and even Uplands Corner and other areas. So with that said, thank you for viewing today's show of Building Boston and Beyond. I thank Roseanne Foley, Director of Fields Corner Main Street, for joining us, and we'll see you next month.